Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I intend to try to be relatively brief this morning. I start by congratulating my honourable friend from Banff and Buchan for securing this a very important private members' debate, and for the consensus that she's managed to build to look to drive this forward, which will hopefully, by the end of today, see this bill moving forward to the next stage. Very early in my own election campaign of 2015, this issue was brought to me by a number of campaigners in Midlothian. In fact, it was even raised as a question at one of the hustings that took place in that campaign. Luckily, by that point, I had at least a limited grasp of what the Istanbul Convention was. Sadly, not all of those on the panel that night did. I think the journey we've taken, even since that point, and the awareness that's been raised across countless members by the tireless campaigners already mentioned by my honourable friend, shows the real strength of feeling, and I think the genuine changing in attitude that we are starting to see coming through. But we do need to do more, which is why it's so important that we see the passing of this bill today. In my own constituency in Midlothian, the Mid and East Lothians Women's Aid, who have been campaigning on this issue for a number of years, have told me they see that the ratification of the Istanbul Convention is the most comprehensive strategy for addressing violence against women and girls, therefore an opportunity to bring unprecedented positive change for women and girls. I think we can all agree we need to do something, we need to do more. I wanted to perhaps, in my brief contribution here, look to some of the other issues that we see around this, and actually the role that we as men can play in trying to address and change attitudes, because we all want to see an end to violence against women, but it's that attitudinal change. And actually, when we see discrimination and some of the comments you see online being made, I think there's a very important role for all of us, but perhaps especially the men amongst us, to challenge the attitudes of other men when we see that type of abuse taking place online. And I have to say, in this point, I would have to pay particular praise to my honourable friend from Paisley and Renfrewshire North, who is doing a huge amount of work in tackling this in a number of different avenues, but certainly as the chair of the all-party group for the White Ribbon campaign. I'm sure we're going to hear from my honourable friend shortly, but I cannot let this session pass without putting on record, I think, certainly my, and I'm sure my colleagues' feelings of support for the work that he is doing. We all have such an important role. We have an opportunity to be leaders in our own communities, to change the attitudes, to take that stand, to drive change for the best. If we can influence young people today and change their attitudes before it's too late, then we can really get that shift change in an attitude that will eventually see us taking those steps to eradicate violence against women. There is no need for any violence against women to take place. We need to do everything we possibly can to be stamping it out at every opportunity, and to not stand by and watch, whether it be violence or whether it simply be an offensive comment online. All of us have a responsibility to make a stand and do what we can to make sure that we make these changes, and in doing so, I think a fantastic first step, certainly today, in supporting this bill.
Yeah.